Jay in the GQ interview and the Seth Rogen laugh. How do
Here
you
we
feel?
go.
How do you feel about Jay's comments on the battle rap culture and what he said? Did you see the whole thing of what he said, or did you?
I did not see. I saw a little clip. I didn't see the
clip
whole entire thing. And I haven't even talked about it that much.
Okay.
I talked about it with the wife a little, but I haven't seen the whole clip, like the whole entirety of
to
the
sum
clip
it up,
yet.
he's basically just saying that the whole beef spills over into, you know, the internet and people ruining people's lives, and that it's bad for the culture at this stage and where we're at in hip hop, which is like, you know.
Oh, I agree 100%.
Really? Elaborate for me, please, because I low key disagree. I'm not gonna lie with you.
When we gave the keys to the fans and let them dictate how a battle was supposed to go, and then you start taking a lot more out of the music and not leaving it in the music, because a lot of this shit's going on behind the scenes and social media and all this other stuff, and it's getting to a toxic level. They're not keeping it on wax. This coming outside of wax, and it's starting to become. This nigga was literally on King Prince Duckface was literally on 50 Cent's mom's grave, disrespecting somebody's dead mother. Like it gets out. It comes out of music, and it's starting to go. Because what Jay's talking about is when he was in it, that it was about the music. It was about going back and forth who had the best pen. He's saying it in that aspect.
Let me ask you a quick question while you're explaining that, because you said a valid point about how it spills over into the internet and becomes toxic and stuff like this. But what's the difference between that and when it was the clicks and the crews, and it was the magazines and the radios and everything else that was similar to what we're seeing today? I think it's just an added ingredient onto what we already have seen.
Because back in those times, we were able to sit down in barbershops and talk about it without it escalating to violence. Right now, we can't do that. There's literally people that have nothing to do with this that are going at each other, talking about bringing violence upon each other because of a battle.
And I do understand that's toxic fandom, though. I don't think that's the
battle
rapping. I think that's just because he didn't mention toxic fans.
I know, but he's not mentioning toxic fans.
He's talking about how that's an effect of why it's bad for the culture. And I just.
But the rappers are the ones that are bringing it to the fans and allowing their fans to do that, instead of saying leave the shit alone, keep it between me and him, and leave the shit alone. They're allowing the bullshit.
Well, rappers gonna go out and say that when you can't control the masses. We know that
you can't control the masses, but you could go out there and you could say, hey, this is between me and this person. This is not personal, because we all know none of this shit. So half of the shit is not personal. This is about us both getting a bag. It's about us both getting a bag. They're not keeping it hip hop no more.
But here's my
it's not about hip hop.
I think that goes into now that involves people that are more fan of the artist specifically versus people that are fan of hip hop and the culture itself. Because I always say that there's a fine line of being a hip hop fan and then you're a fan of said artist. Like with the Drake and Kendrick thing, I think a lot of that comes from fans of the artist, not the hip hop itself. So
exactly.
I think that's a different thing and a different entity. That's super fans. That's toxic stans. That's toxic.
But you can't take that out of the full equation. That's part of the whole issue. What's going on?
But that's not something that makes it bad, and that shouldn't be involved. Because once again, the artist is still keeping it rap. Because we haven't seen an artist. Right. We still haven't seen any artist cause violence or harm to each other while battling. It's just the culture is not what the rappers are doing. But that's where we're not thinking that these artists, they have the power to stop it if they want to. If these people are looking at these artists, hold on. If these, all right, so then when these people go and start dressing like their artists and buying the same jewelry and driving the same car, so they can influence them in that, but they can influence them in doing some violent shit to somebody just because they don't like what the fuck they had to say, it's all the same thing. Like, keep it in the books, keep it in rap. And if you see that these fans are taking it to another extreme, it's your duty to say, hey, we're keeping the shit in wax. Me and this person is between us two. And yes, you're not going to control the masses. But at least a lot of those people are going to be like, you know what, they're right. And at least some of them will back out. But I think that those people that you're referencing are such a small percentage in the overall grand scheme of things that I feel like that highlights
not the great part of what we get, which is great music, great competition.
But that right there is what the world. But that's what the world is seeing, though. Yes, it's a small part, but that small part, that's how we represent it to the world. That's how the world looks at us.
But that's also what, I think negativity is what people like to talk about more. So
right.
That goes back to also what's the difference of that here today in 2026, for example, right? Versus in 1996 when they were literally making magazine presses and magazine titles, and we were sitting in the barbershops reading the same things, which once again caused the turmoil between the artists and the cliques and the crews versus fans that just are Twitter fingering. Artists were getting killed in body for it in real time versus fans are just arguing, talking about I'm gonna slap you in your face.
Because they were actually living that gangster life. These were gangsters that were rapping. These weren't rappers that were trying to act like gangsters. That's the difference. Back in those days, these niggas were actually living that life and talking about it. Half of these niggas are fake thugs that are coming out here trying to rap and trying to start some shit that shouldn't be nothing about.
Too, though. A lot of that was the same thing too. Like, because Tupac wasn't a real gangster. Biggie wasn't a real gangster. You know what I'm saying? A lot of both of them weren't real gangsters. They just was affiliated.
But that's what I'm saying. There was only one diss track between them, between both of them. So you can't even put that in consideration of beef.
But that goes back to cliques and crews and magazines and other influences that involved in pushing the narratives that made them ultimately not be here, though. That it had nothing to do with the records. That it had
no. They're not here because a man had a different plan for them. That's why they're not here. It had nothing to do with the beef or anything like that.
Right.
That would have blown over. Then it's because Diddy made a decision. That's why they're not here. That has nothing to do with the culture.
Oh well, yeah, that involves other stuff. Yeah,
that's a whole nother fucking thing.
But that's in the grand scheme of it, there still was violence that was involved with that.
No, there absolutely there was violence. But the diss track was just to say, "Hey Biggie, this is what I did, and this is how I feel." Biggie in an interview said, I don't have no hard feelings. He wasn't taking it as a battle. He was taking it as Pac was confused. People were lying to him. He was paranoid. So he went at Biggie because people were saying something that Biggie was up to the one that shot him and shit. So they were putting shit in his mind. And Biggie was like, I ain't got no beef with this motherfucker. It is what it is. And that was gang shit related. And yeah, they weren't born in it, but they got affiliated with it very quickly when they became stars.
Right, which I think is always
and when you be around the wrong people, wrong shit happens.
Very true.
That's just what it is. If it was between Biggie and Pac, they still would be here right now making music together because that's what they wanted to do in the beginning.
And can I be honest with you too? I think in a grand scheme of it, I just think that anybody, and I will say 3 names that say this, right, and they're significant names. I just feel like the losers in significant rap battles tend to go this route and say that rap battles are bad for the culture. Because Ja Rule has been online to say this, right? Did we think it was bad for the culture then? No, we didn't. Jay-Z lost to Nas. He's now on record saying this. Drake on record doing it and suing. So is it really bad for the culture, or are we just spinning a narrative on just what it is? Because I get because I don't.
No, I don't
see,
disagree just because
with it, but I'm just saying. I think the losers don't.
How many people did you just? Let me ask you a question. How many people did you just? How many people?
And some 3 major beefs. That's all.
How many rappers are out there in the world?
Plenty, and there's a lot of rappers.
Then why the fuck are we worried about what 3 rappers do? That doesn't change battle rap. That doesn't change how you're supposed to battle. It doesn't change anything.
You see how the narrative starts to, because people start turning and thinking about it. Because Jay-Z, remember, he's fucking Hov. We talk about fucking Hov. It's Jay-Z. He's the god and the godfather of rap. So when he speaks, we listen.
He was.
You know what I'm saying? And I think he's a little out of touch with that comment. That's just my opinion. And that's my thing. I don't agree fully. I see his point, but I think for Jay to go that route is one, because he lost in the battle himself. And Drake lost in the battle himself, so he's defending.
Well, yeah, but also in Jay's defense, it's more of the rappers themselves just don't know how to handle themselves in a battle.
They don't know.
They don't know how to take a loss, and they want to do. And I think that's where he was going most. Is like back in the day, if you rap somebody and you fucking failed and you missed. That's it, you lost, and take the L and walk on until you go to the next nigga and rap. That's what he's saying. There's too many people that are too sensitive about what the fuck is going on when somebody's coming out. It's a battle rap.
You're not supposed to take. You know why I love battle rap? Why I love URL and why I compare? I would rather see that than diss tracks, and I'd rather see that because right after the battle, what happens? The two rappers go take pictures together, interview together. Yeah, and that was a fire, beautiful because that's what it's about.
See, but
that's how it was in the streets. But I'm telling you how it was in the streets. I'm telling you how battle rap is supposed to be.
Right.
That media shit. That's what media rap wants to do it. Media forces all that stuff. All the shit that these mainstream rappers do is for the media. It's not for rap. It's so they can pull numbers. Why do you think half these niggas that do diss tracks in mainstream rap always do it when they have a fucking project coming out? Because it's to push the fucking number.
When Jay also spoke, because I listened to the whole thing, so Jay also homed in on specific points from diss tracks from the specific battle, which was speaking on bringing people's families, bringing people's kids, bringing all this, which I'm just like, wait, Jay, you left condoms on the baby seat, my nigga. Like, what are you talking
That's
about?
Disgusting.
That's
disgusting.
Yeah, nigga, the gloves is
disgusting.
off. Me and you got something more in common. Get it? We got something more in common. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you did these same things. So that's why I'm just like, you can't be the guy that says this, but you left condoms on the baby seat, or is that your bitch while you home alone while she out with me?
No, I think what
say, Jay, you can call the house for me. There's no respect at all. You better check her, dog. She keep begging me to hit it raw so she can have a kid and say it was yours.
Yeah, but these people are they're talking about dead people. You don't do that. Like even in takeaway battle, takeaway rapping, you don't ever mention the dead. You should never mention the dead in any fucking way. And that's stepping out of the line. There's no more rules anymore. Back in the day, there was some type of decor when you were battling somebody.
Who brought up the dead? Just to remind me, who brought up the dead?
T.I.'s son.
No, we talking about.
With 50.
I'm talking about Drake.
I know, but what I'm saying, that's what he's talking about.
No, Jay was talking about Drake and Kendrick. That's what I'm telling you. I'm trying to tell you, Jay-Z is talking about the Drake and Kendrick.
But
when he's talking about this quote had nothing to do with the Money and the 50 Cent beef. That has nothing to do with that. He's talking about strictly that and how that made it bad for the culture. That's what I'm saying. Did you see the whole thing? You know what I'm saying?
No, I told you it didn't.
Okay, so that's what I'm explaining to you. I got you right now. That's not about any of that. You're going off on saying that it's bad because of that. Now that's a different conversation. The Damani.
I think the little clip I think the clip that he brought up talking about the Drake and thing was part of it. Yes, but I think he was in generalizing it as all of it. Because they're all doing it. It's like everybody's getting butthurt because of a diss track. Everybody's being too say it's a fucking diss track. It's supposed to be that way.
Yeah, no.
And I understand I understand what Jay is. I understand what you're saying. That Jay's saying that people are going overboard, and that's not a conversation that Jay-Z. It's only big because Jay-Z is saying it. There's niggas that been saying that shit in battle rap for the past 2-3 years.
I mean, Jay's been saying it himself when he goes in battles. That's why I was confused on why he thinks it's bad for the culture with those points, with the points of bringing family and kids into it. I'm like, you've done that yourself. You brought that same stuff up in your raps yourself. You know what I'm saying? And you know we've gotten who else has done that with speaking to your point of dead spouses and parents and stuff. What about Jada kissing them when they went on 50's moms the same way? It's the same. I don't think there's any rules in the art of war on wax, to be honest with you. I don't think so because me and you both came from that era in that cloth where it's been disrespectful like that.
See, boy, okay, you're not understanding.
You never been a fan of that?
What I'm saying is, back in our day, it didn't matter what you said. No one was butthurt about it.
Right.
It was fine. Right now, there's too much sensitivity in battle rap with the artists. Fuck the fans. With the artists. With the artists. The artists are too sensitive right now that they can't go at each other.
I see.
Because if you say something, then I'm gonna be butthurt about it. Because so then why you hurt? Is it because it's true? Or so then why did you even mention anything?
Okay, I see what you're picking up now.
And what I'm saying is the fans magnify it a million more.
Yes, but the fans don't even understand. They're just fans and choose a side. So that just makes it
exactly.
Yeah,
because they're a fan of Drake. They're going to be a fan of only Drake, no matter. They don't listen to no other rapper. Only Drake. So they're gonna go and die for this nigga on the sword.
A Drake fan first over hip hop. Yep.
So anything that Drake does is good in their eyes, or he has the right to do it. Who the fuck is gonna say, all right, I'm gonna King Blitz? King Blitz, wow. Shout out to King Blitz. That's my nigga right there. Shout out to King Blitz. That's my dog right there. K-Dot. fucking mentioned me in a track, I made a decision to answer back. So you already signed on the dotted line saying, I am going to go at you. No holds bar. Everything is fair. You're right. There shouldn't be anything. But there's certain lines that I wouldn't cross. That I don't like, not even in battle rap. And that's talking about dead people and talking about kids. Because those two have nothing to do with it. Baby mamas and shit like that, go ahead, my nigga. Because the baby mama can come out and slap the shit out of you. She'll come and slap the shit out you and we go, or do what K-Dot's girl did and started doing the crip walk. Right on the video. We could start, the wives could defend themselves. But dead people and kids cannot. So, those are the two I think, no matter what occasion, you shouldn't be brought up. Okay. Leave that shit out the equation. But
I'm with you more on the kids, but the unalive, I'm just like, it's no rules. Kids is probably the only rule.
I just think it's just
it's tasteless.
It could be
tasteless.
It could be my Hispanic culture because we celebrate the dead. We don't mourn it. Yeah, we celebrate the dead. Okay. So okay. We have respect for those. Yeah. So I don't play when we talk about the unalive because it's just a respect thing for me.
Spiritual thing too.
But
you know what I'm saying? Don't say well on the
but all that all holds barred. Say whatever the fuck you want to say. You can say whatever you want. And so a lot of rappers do it, and it's in bad taste. But I don't just focus on the little bad things. I focus on the whole entire thing that you're giving me.
Yeah, because it's just a line.
So
just a line.
When I hear that this nigga is going at UMG because they're playing a fucking track that was a diss track on him, and then you have the Drake fans saying he's not going at K-Dot. He's going at them because of K-Dot. He's going at them because of him. So how the fuck is that he not wrong? That lawyers and court dates and lawsuits should not be involved in battles.
And that's at all. I think that's Drake's fault because nobody's ever done that in the history of rap. So that's Drake's
and now he did it, and now everybody and their mother probably gonna start doing it.
I hope not. I really hope not.
I hope to God not.
I hope rap.
I think that'll be that nail in the fucking coffin.
But that's also kind of going back to like how I always feel like people just not rapping back. Like people be too scared to rap these days. Like I feel like they feel like there's too much to lose because of the internet. I think the internet works in a negative effect for battle rap.
Because you know why? Because because in battle rap this is what it is.
You know what I'm saying?
This is what it is in battle rap. You have to not hold bars. No hold bars. Yep. You have to think of creative ways to destroy somebody. Mm-hmm. You have to be disrespectful. And so disrespect, that word disrespect, is the main ingredient in battling. Period. You have to be disrespectful. In this generation, nobody could be disrespectful enough. If you're too disrespectful, you're going to hurt too many fucking people, and now it's sleeping into the actual artist.
And their clicks too. It's usually their clicks too.
And it's crazy because the way Drake supports the battle rap community.
And that's what made.
That's what I don't understand about it.
Facts, big facts.
That's what I don't understand about it. I remember when battle rap was you just shouldn't give a fuck about. Say whatever the fuck you want. Go crazy. Make it entertaining, make it clever, and have bars and do the whole performance, do everything and sell it to me. And do what you gotta do. And it is what the fuck it is. Nowadays people are too sensitive,
too soft,
on anything.
Too moist. People get too moist out here, man.
Way too moist.
Too moist, bro.
And that's why I say whatever the fuck I want to say. And 90% of people don't agree with me. Even 90% of the people that follow me don't agree with the shit that I believe in. And it's fine. I don't care about that.
Same here.
Judge me on my character, not what the fuck I believe in. Exactly. I'm good.
Exactly. And that's why we connect, my brother. that is why we connect.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Shit. Segue.